Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am your host, General Rex1, and today I will be talking to you guys about my top 6 Star Wars games that need to be made, preferably around the time of now to the end of 2017. If these games are not made from now between the end of 2017, then I have no idea what in the world Disney is doing, because then they are obviously not listening to the viewers and players and reviewers of Star Wars games. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about is number 6, is we need some more standalone Star Wars games. Now, there are Star Wars standalone video games that have been made. One I can go and point out is one of the most hated Star Wars games. Well, no, the most hated Star Wars game is Star Wars Connect. But a hated game by people who just don't like the controls. The story was fine, graphics were old, but Star Wars Obi-Wan was a standalone game that, well, that's an example of a standalone game. Another one that would be a better example would be in the PlayStation 2 of Jango Fett. And I guess another one you could go by is Force Unleashed 1 and 2, because you play as Galen Wreck, and then in 2 you play as Galen Wreck Clone or Star Killer, but you do play as them. But I really wouldn't consider that a standalone game because I don't like Force Unleashed. Yeah. Alright, but in my opinion, standalone Star Wars games actually do draw some good imagination, stories, and role-playing, all that kind of stuff into the gaming community. One game that I think should definitely come out as a standalone game is you being a character that trains with Luke Skywalker in an academy named Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, and you train with Luke Skywalker in the Jedi Academy, temple, whatever that Luke made, and then betraying everyone, slaughtering everyone with your lightsaber, and being under the leadership of Supreme Leader Snoke, aka Jar Binks. I'm kidding, but I have been convinced, but that's another video. Speaking of Jar Binks, I actually do want a Jar Binks standalone Star Wars game. I really do think if they were to make a standalone Jar Binks Star Wars game, it would draw some potential for the fact that everyone would have it because of how ridiculous it would be. Everyone would have it because of how popular the theory is that Jar Jar is a Dark Sith Lord. And I think that's something that would be really cool to bring out if Snoke were to be Jar Jar, is having a game to where it's the original Jar Jar script for the Clone Wars, and that he is the goofy character that turns out to be the big bad powerful person, and also the big reveal, which Clone Wars lacks, except for the original trilogy, which the goofy character, which is the big bad, is Yoda, and the big reveal is I am your father. Yeah, terrible Vader impression there, I know. But the third person that I think a standalone Star Wars game that would be really cool to have is from, well, the Old Republic era in the Sith Empire, and that would be Darth Malak. I think a sequel will be made for this, Star Wars Darth Malak, The Betrayal, and then Star Wars Darth Malak, The End. In The Betrayal, you are with your master Revan, like your brother in arms, where a tutorial mission would be you and Revan maybe fighting on, I believe it was Malachor 5 in the Mandalorian Wars, where you go in as Jedi, come out as Sith. And what you do with that is you are with Revan, you find all the star maps, stuff like that. You find where the Star Forges, and then you, at the end of the game, you betray Revan, and then it's a clip of you as Malak on the Star Forge, starting your siege as the leader of the Sith Empire. And then, of course, it's Star Wars Darth Malak, The End. It is where you're on the Star Forge, commanding your fleets, hunting down Bastila, and at the end of it, it is a game where you do die as a character. I'm not saying it's impossible to defeat your opponent, Darth Revan, but you do. Like, he has a life bar. By the end of it, he like leaps up and kills you for the fact that he's Darth Revan, but he comes back and you die. Now, a lot of people probably be like, well, that's impractical. Why would someone be killed as a main character, especially as cool as Darth Malak? Well, because it actually happened, one thing, and it's not foreign from the game community. Look at Halo Reach. Noble 6 dies. Screw you with your theories that Noble 6 is alive. I could give... Actually, I couldn't give any care at all about Noble 6. Except for the fact that I played as Noble 6 in Halo Reach. But, anywho, moving off. But that's number 6 of Star Wars standalone video games that I think should be done. Kylo Ren, Jar Binks, Darth Malak. Let me know about your opinion about that in the description. No, not description. Comments below. And while you're at that, hit that like button and subscribe. Alright, so for number 5, so what could the next LEGO Star Wars video game be like? I personally want an end to the LEGO Star Wars video games. I'm a huge LEGO Star Wars person, I'm a huge LEGO person. When they combine those two into a video game, I'm up for it. But I think it should be a LEGO Star Wars Ultimate Universe game. I would just like to say that it should be everything from LEGO Star Wars the video game, so from LEGO Star Wars 2 the original trilogy, LEGO Star Wars 3 the Clone Wars, LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga, have all those characters along with characters of Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Episode 8 the Han Solo standalone movie, and Episode 9 have everything, and then DLCs adding characters and missions from future movies, TV series, etc., if needed be. I think that would be pretty cool to kind of end the LEGO Star Wars franchise. Not to end it, but to, I guess, have a forceful retirement of the LEGO Star Wars video game franchise. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, so for number 4 is Star Wars Halo Wars like game. If you guys do not know what Halo Wars is like, then shame on you. Halo Wars is a very fun game where you have to strategizing to defeat your opponent's base. And we actually have had a Star Wars game kind of like this in an old game called Clone Wars Adventures. I think it was called like Galactic Forces or whatever. It's a base versus another base, but it wasn't as complicated as Halo Wars was, if anyone remembers that from Clone Wars Adventures. But I think a Star Wars way of doing that would be very cool. That's just something I wanted to throw in there because it's a game I really enjoy quite often. And yeah, I think having that in Star Wars would be pretty cool. I think we should also just let 343 and Havoc and I'll get the case here. Never mind. But the companies who did Halo Wars go ahead and do like a Star Wars game, I guess you can say. But that's my own opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now for number 3, we all know that there is a game called Star Wars Battlefront made by DICE and EA, whatever you want to call them. One thing I would just like to say is I want a continuation of Star Wars Battlefront. It needs to be redeemed. It is a fun game, but it does lack stuff for the fact that it's not that us as the classic Battlefront players are greedy. It's the fact that we've been waiting 10 years for a Star Wars Battlefront. There was only one Battlefront that really intrigued everyone, which was the one made by, I believe, Free Radical, because they had ground to space, space to ground combat. They still had the AIs, and they had some, I guess, pretty cool graphics. I mean, if Star Wars Battlefront wasn't Frostbite, I really wouldn't mind it. But that's my own personal opinion, again. But I do think in the future, we need to do a Star Wars Battlefront. Not DLCs, because DLCs are too complicated. I think Season Passes are the complete most stupid thing. Because you pay the $60 for the game. Why pay, like the $60 a month for the Season Pass? I really don't even care what the subscription fee is. I don't care about the Season Pass. New Star Wars Battlefront game needs to come out with AI, with Galactic Conquest, instant action, and a story. I would actually rather have that be Clone Wars. I'm not gonna lie, like Galactic Civil War is really fun, which is what Star Wars Battlefront is mainly about. it's Galactic Civil War. They have the key moments of like the Hoth maps and the Endor maps, and even the end of the maps has a DLC of it being the Battle with Jakku, with adding the mode of Turning Point, because it is a turning point. I mean, Death Star destroyed, Sidious and Vader dead. Really no hope for the Stormtroopers until, of course, 30 years after. Well, actually, only 30 years after. That's when Force Awakens takes place, so 30 years after Return of the Jedi. But sometime in between that, with Kylo Ren rising, Snoke and Phasma, and what is it, Captain Hux or Admiral Hux? He should be called Admiral Hux. Anywho's, but yeah, that's my opinion, is that we need a redeemed Star Wars Battlefront continuation, hopefully in the next year. Alright, so for number 2, a Star Wars Adventures. This is for PC and Macs only. This is a resurrection of Clone Wars Adventures. If Disney is smart, they would definitely do this, and how they have Club Penguin. I think they've had that since, what, 2004, 2003? So good, 12 to 11 years now. Actually, no. 12 to 13 years now, since it's 2016. So they've had that out for quite a while. They've done a lot of things with a basic thing like that. They should be able to make a new Clone Wars Adventures, but I want Star Wars Adventures with the entire Star Wars universe. Like I said, with the Lego Star Wars Ultimate Universe game, have an entire Star Wars Adventures where you can have the same customizability as Clone Wars Adventures, maybe even Star Wars Galaxies. Bring those people, give them an actual home, not a H1Z1 apocalypse bullcrap game. Screw you, Sony Entertainment or whatever. Anywho, or Zoe, whoever did Clone Wars Adventures really has targets on their back. Anywho, like, you know what I'm saying, like, maybe if you were to even log in with your Clone Wars Adventures account information, if they were to even have, which I think they would have the right to have it, maybe you can get, like, bonus stuff, like, pick 5 weapons from your old Clone Wars Adventures account, 5 gear in each of the gear categories, like helmets, body, legs, and boots, all that kind of stuff. Like, do a limit of that, you know, and maybe some bonus, I don't know if they would call it station cash, but station cash and credits within the game. I think that would be pretty cool. If you guys really want to know what the Star Wars Adventures would be, it would be Old Republic, Clone Wars, Galactic Civil War, I'm going to call it the First Order era, the Rogue One, standalone movies, all that kind of stuff. Like, the gears and outfits from that, also combat zones from that, and different, like, mini stores that they did actually have in Clone Wars Adventures to make it fun, but with less glitches, unless they're funny glitches. Funny glitches are funny. Alright, so for number 1, a new Star Wars, like, MMORPG for consoles. And I want it to be made by Bungie. Bungie is the makers of Destiny, and Destiny has done very good. Although they completely jumped players off with the Taken King, like how you have Destiny, that you have to buy another Destiny for the multiplayer experience and the continuation of stories. I believe that's how it was, and for different gear and different stuff like that. But then again, what game doesn't do that to you? If you guys don't know, an MMORPG, I believe, stands for, and please correct me if I'm wrong, please do that. While you gotta hit that like button and subscribe. Means mass multiplayer, like mass multi-online role-playing game. Which was kind of like what Clone Wars Adventures was, but it's more comparable to, I believe, the Star Wars Old Republic by BioWare. But I think we need a, like, Star Wars Old Republic for consoles, preferably PS4 and Xbox One. Forget the old generation. Not like the old generation isn't that bad, just retiring must come. Anywho. But I think it really does need to be done, whether it's like a continuation of KOTOR, like maybe not even anything to deal with KOTOR 1 and 2, but like another group in the Old Republic era. And I think that's something that really would be very, very nice, very, very cool, for the fact that it would just be a very nice and cool thing to have. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. If you guys want more information about like a new Star Wars MMORPG. In my full opinion, I guess I can throw out one more thing. You guys think what era that I think should most likely be for a new MMORPG. When it comes to Galactic Civil War, I think Star Wars Battlefront has that well taken care of, so we're going to close the door on that. For Clone Wars era does need to be redeemed, but I think it needs to be redeemed of where it really got started, which is Star Wars Battlefront, more than a role-playing game, especially in MMO, like mass multi online. Because Clone Wars Adventures was cool and all, it did have a good bit of players. I think it was almost to 15 million players when it was getting shut down, maybe even more than that. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. And while you're at it, hit that like button and subscribe. But something that really needs to happen is, I think the Clone Wars era, I mean, I wouldn't be offended or against if they did a Clone Wars era MMORPG. What I would be more likely for doing is an Old Republic. Now I'm going to be like, what about the new like First Order era with Kylo Ren? We're not going to be seeing the end of this trilogy until what, like 3-4 years? So that doesn't fall between my timeline between now and the end of 2017. So really, the Old Republic's where you can do some awesome stuff. I would actually more like to see stuff around Darth Bane age, with the rule of 2 being initiated instead of like, you know, picking a class in Star Wars Old Republic. Not like that's bad. I mean, I personally haven't played it. I've been wanting to play it, but my computer can't handle it. But that's my full-on opinion about that. So again, if you guys want to hear the list fastly, number 6 being a standalone Star Wars game, recommendations of characters being Kylo Ren, Jar Binks, and Darth Malak. Number 5 being a LEGO Star Wars Ultimate Universe game. Number 4 being like a Star Wars-like Halo Wars game. Number 3 being a Star Wars Battlefront continuation or redeemed Star Wars Battlefront game, preferably for Clone Wars. Number 2 being a Star Wars Adventures, Clone Wars Adventures, Star Wars Galaxies Resurrection. And number 1 being a new Star Wars MMORPG for consoles, preferably made by Bungie, since they've done a really good job with Destiny, and since Destiny has a lot of customization, character, defenses, weapon buffs, and all that kind of stuff. That's really what Star Wars games need, and that's really what I think Star Wars games are mainly based off of. Well, should be based off of, in my opinion. So I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe have Bungie and DICE going with that. Maybe have like not the Frostbite, but like a better graphic quality for like them working together with Disney's approval, of course. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, if you guys have any comments, concerns, questions, etc., please put it in the comments down below, and I will try to get back to you guys with those. Another thing is, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. More videos are to come, and if you like the video, hit that like button. I think I've said that enough times. Again, any questions, put in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a God bless day, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Rex out.